Hey everyone, I am T-Rex and today I'm going to be reviewing another Star Wars game with Star Wars Squadrons. This game I really wanted to take my time in and make sure I really got the full game in my review. I put in over 18 hours in this game on Steam so I can make sure I had a full review of Star Wars Squadrons. But anyways, with that little preamble, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to quickly explain what Star Wars Squadrons is, and that is Star Wars Squadrons is a first-person X-Wing TIE Fighter game where you are a pilot that flies around in famous Star Wars ships that are iconic, like the X-Wing or the Y-Wing, or maybe a TIE Fighter, and you are a pilot in this. Now, this game locks you into the first-person point of view in these starships, and that is a really interesting idea. First off, this game is very different than other Star Wars games that have come out of EA. Being a flight simulator game, that is very different. Also only being sold at a MSRP of $40, and that really makes it stand out from other EA Star Wars games. So now that we know a rough idea of what Squadrons is, let's start with the story mode, which is you swapping as a pilot from the New Republic and doing missions and then swapping over the Empire. That's kind of how the game works. It sets you up doing Republic missions, then Empire missions, and then you kind of swap forth and you have that story that way. And this is going to be non-spoiler about the story, but the main story is that the New Republic is trying to build something that can stop the Empire and really hinder it for the future. Now, when it came to the overall narrative, I found it pretty forgettable, but that's not really bad because I found it entertaining in the moment due to the fun characters. Especially on the Rebellion side, you have some real fun characters. There's a guy who's a Trandoshan, which is the Bosk species, and he's pretty cool. And I thought that there were some actual pretty fun characters on the Empire side as well. This game is really good at making you have fun in the moment, but when you think back on the story, it's nothing to be too crazy, but it's pretty fun when you play it. I don't think this campaign is going to be one where I'm dying to head back to play in the future. Nothing too crazy on a whole, but really fun when you're playing it. And yeah, I think it really succeeds at just trying to have you have fun. And I think the point where it really succeeds at is having really great missions. This game really makes you feel like an awesome pilot, especially in VR, but I'm going to talk about that later. Overall though, the missions are really fun, and at times they have fun little callbacks to Star Wars movie bombing runs that feel very similar. And now, since I talked about the narrative, I should talk about the gameplay, which is really fun. Now, there are a lot of ships in this game, and they all fly very differently. So you can be a Y-Wing, which is a huge bomber, or maybe an A-Wings, which are quick and fast, and they're kind of hunter-class vehicles. Maybe an X-Wing, which is a good all-around choice, or be the U-Wing, the support ship, which is my favorite ship. I think I've said that before, but it is my favorite ship in Star Wars, and flying that bad boy in VR was a dream come true. But back to the gameplay, it feels great. The health feels very good, and it feels very easy to tell where your shields are. Also, you can easily tell how big your ship is. You can easily fly through. The radar is very good and very easy to tell where you are. But man, it feels amazing dodging and weaving through asteroid fields, and you really feel like a great pilot. I think the first person perspective, I think, really helps with the immersion and experience. Some people were nervous coming in this game that this would really hinder the experience, but I did not. I thought this was very immersive being in first person, and I loved it. Also, you have power in your cockpit where you can divert it to engines, or maybe you need more weapons or speed, or maybe you need shields, and I think that's really fun. Even if you're in a TIE Fighter, you don't have shields, but instead you have quicker speed and you have better weapons, so it feels very balanced as well. I thought the ships were really fun. I thought the gameplay was very tight, very solid. I had a lot of fun with it. Now, another big thing you want to see in these type of games are customizability, and I think here they did a really good job with the ships. It is all earned in-game with credits, and I felt that I was unlocking a lot of good stuff for my ships at a good rate. Also, I think the customizability is very good, where it can make our ships feel different on what we choose in our layouts. So if I'm flying my U-Wing, it's going to feel very different from your U-Wing. I think that's really good because that means we have different play styles, and I think that's really good that the game caters to that type of idea. I think the customization in this game is very solid. Although I really want to talk about the character customization, it's pretty okay. I wish there was a bit more, but I think it was pretty solid. Overall, on whole, the ship customization is very good when it comes to actual powers and abilities. I think the ship customizations and like skins and decals are good, and I think that character customization is okay, but overall, customization is very good. Now, let's talk about the multiplayer, since this is kind of what the game is based around, and it's good. I wish there were more game modes with this, with online people, as right now there are only 2 game modes, one being a dogfight, which is very fun, and the other big capital fight, which I have to admit I had a ton of fun with. But I kind of wish there was a third or fourth game mode just so I could have a little bit more variety. But I understand it's a $40 game. But the modes that are here are really fun and done very well. But I do have to say it is more fun with friends, as most multiplayer games are. But I think you will definitely going to want to play with friends, because I remember being in my Ewing, sending out a protection shield to my friend as he was spinning down and almost about to die, and him being able to finish his bombing run in his Ewing. And that's the stuff I love about multiplayer games, and I'm nervous that if you're playing this on your own, you're not really going to get that immersion and that kind of fun factor when you're doing that, because those moments are the best in these type of games where it's like, oh my gosh, did you see that? You saved me. Oh, did you see that? I got your tail. I got the guy off you. It's like stuff like that that really makes Squadrons multiplayer a bit more fun, especially in those bigger moments in those big capital games. I think on a whole, although there aren't too much multiplayer options, I think the game really delivers what they give you. I think the capital mode is very fun. I really like the dogfight. I'm really bad at it, but I think it's fun. I think it does a good job because the gameplay also is just so good. And so far, I've been pretty happy with this game so far I'm talking about, but there's one more thing we need to talk about this game, and for me, it's the big issue, and that is the performance of this game. Now, I played this game on PC through Steam, and I would say that about 70% of my in-game time is with VR. The game is a VR game as well. You can play it on your flat screen, monitor, or TV, or on PlayStation. I think you can use PSVR and use it in VR, or if you're on PC, you can hook up VR to your PC and be able to play it that way. So I played, again, I said about 70% of the game in VR, and I have to say right now I think the game's kind of busted in VR. It has some terrible stuttering and some pretty bad performance. This game just does not run well in VR from what I played. I was able to get it to run well sometimes for maybe about 5 to 15 minutes, or I could get it actually very smooth, but man, the amount of times that happened was just not consistent enough. It's just most of the time I was really struggling with getting at least normal consistency with it being okay. It just did not run smooth, and it's not my PC that can't handle it. I have a pretty nice graphics card, and this feels more of a software issue than on my end, and this led to a lot of frustration on my end as I tried to play through this game because I really wanted to experience it in VR. That's why I got the game, and it just really struggled in it, and I was very frustrated trying to play through this game because I felt like I wasn't really getting the full experience because it was so stuttery and just not up to par. Overall, in VR, this game was a struggle to play through, but on monitor, it wasn't bad at all. I thought it had very good performance on just normal PC, just playing on my monitor, and I thought the flat screen version was much better. There were about 2 hiccups that I had, but that was more of an internet connection for me, and then it was smooth sailing from there on out. And I thought that the flat screen version was really fun, and I'd probably say that's the best version to play right now. But honestly, the VR version was a huge bummer for me since I really wanted to play that way, and it just not being up to par really bummed me out. Overall, when it comes to this game, I think it is a very fun game that went in very different direction than EA other Star Wars games have, and I thought the campaign was fun when you did it. I think the gameplay was very well done. I thought the multiplayer was honestly really good. Overall, when I was playing this game and it was at its best, it is honestly so much fun. But with that VR version just not being as good as I'd want it to be, and I really wanted to be immersed, being in an X-Wing cockpit, I'm going to have to trade that out for playing on monitor because I'd rather have that good performance. And that really left a sour taste in my mouth, but I know that won't be a problem for everyone since a lot of people just aren't going to be playing it on VR and are just buying it for the flat screen version. But man, performance really bummed me out there. Anyways, I'm going to say that Star Wars Squadrons is a good game. It's fun, very high energy. I would give it a great if I could play it well in VR, but just because the VR version isn't all the way up to par, it's fine. If you're playing it though on flat screen, I highly recommend picking up this game. It is very fun. Also, it's not that highly priced. It's only around $40, and this game is always on sale for around 25 bucks. So if you're nervous, pick it up for that price. Anyways, next time I think I'm going to be doing a review on another video game, but I'm going to have to play through it all the way. I've done about 5 hours into it, so I really need to play more for it. So maybe that video will be postponed, but there will be something up next time I upload, and whenever that comes out, I'll see you then. Bye.